This week, ByteDance officially drops Seedance 2.5 globally. Google teaches robots to think on their feet. OpenAI ships sub-100 millisecond live transcription. Over 1,500 researchers demand the industry slow down. And Anthropic finds something unexpected inside Claude's mind. Let's get into it. ByteDance just officially launched Dreamina Seedance 2.5 globally. Available right now on Dreamina and Doubao Pro edition, Seedance 2.5 generates native 30-second continuous clips at 4K resolution in a single pass. It expands multi-modal control to up to 50 reference inputs for unmatched character and scene consistency, alongside one-take regional editing. Volcano Arc API access is rolling out next. Google DeepMind just dropped Gemini Robotics ER2, and the dexterity improvements are genuinely striking. What's different here is embodied reasoning. The robot isn't running pre-programmed motions. It's interpreting natural language instructions and figuring out the manipulation strategy in real time. Watch this. Whole body control. The system coordinates arms, torso, and base movement as a single unified action. Not a chain of isolated commands. It's treating the entire body as one continuous system. And here's multi-robot collaboration. Two units negotiating a shared task without explicit coordination protocols. They're reasoning about each other's actions through Gemini's world model. These are zero-shot tasks. The robot has never seen these specific objects. It's generalizing from the foundation model's understanding of physics. The precision here is remarkable. Fine motor manipulation, contact-rich tasks, areas where most robotic systems historically fail. This is where the Gemini backbone really shows its value. The longer demo footage shows sustained manipulation over minutes, not seconds. Google is clearly betting that foundation models aren't just for text and images. They want Gemini running in the physical world. And based on what we're seeing here, they're closer than most people realize. MiniMax just announced Hailuo 3, their next-generation video model. Now, this hasn't launched yet. These are preview samples. But what we're seeing is a massive leap in multi-character consistency. Multiple subjects in the same scene, maintaining identity, clothing, and spatial coherence across long, continuous shots. The physics simulation is noticeably better too. Fabric draping, hair movement, lighting interaction, all holding together in ways that previous models couldn't manage. No release date yet, but MiniMax is clearly positioning this against Seedance and Qwen. The competition in generative video is about to get a lot more intense. Next up, OpenAI just released GPT-live-transcribe, and the latency on this thing is unreal.
I'm planning a trip to Santorini. I want to spend a month over there.
That sounds like an amazing trip.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, you can take a break now. Bye.
Okay, I'm here if you need me.
I know. Natural conversation is nice, but I'm more interested in whether it can think. ChatGPT voice can reason through harder problems and search the web for up-to-date information. Here, let me show you. Okay, I'm giving a lecture in 30 minutes on the history of sound. Okay, can you fact-check my dates?
Sure.
Scott de Martinville's phonautograph in 1857, Edison's tinfoil phonograph in 1865, and Berliner's gramophone in 1887.
I'll check those right now.
Okay, and while you're looking, can you find out if there are any delays in the 16th Street BART station?
Sure.
Okay, and then I need to know if it's going to rain this afternoon.
Checking BART and the weather. I'm not seeing any current advisory for 16th Street mission right now.
Okay, great. So I'll be on time. How about the rain?
Good news. No rain expected today in San
great.
Francisco.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And how are my dates?
Yeah, one needs correcting.
Okay.
So Edison's tinfoil phonograph should be 1877, not 1865.
You know what? I knew that. I was testing you.
Nice.
Let me skip
That's
ahead to the advanced
intelligence.
features. Multi-language translation in real time. Contextual reasoning across audio streams. The latency here isn't incremental improvement, it's a different category entirely. This is the kind of release that shifts what developers think is possible. Alright, this one's different. And it matters. Over 1,500 AI researchers, including senior people at Anthropic, OpenAI, and DeepMind, have signed an open petition calling for mandatory safety audits before deployment of frontier models. They're calling it the Slow AI Petition. The argument is specific. Competitive pressure is compressing the time between capability breakthroughs and public deployment to dangerous levels. The petition calls for independent third-party audits, mandatory red teaming periods, and government-enforced deployment gates. Now, none of the labs have officially endorsed this as corporate policy. But the fact that individual researchers inside these companies are signing publicly tells you something about the internal temperature. Whether this leads to actual regulation or stays a symbolic gesture is the question everyone's watching. But 1,500 names is hard to ignore. Now, the rumor mill. And this one's big. Leaked benchmark projections suggest Google is actively pre-training Gemini 4. Meanwhile, Gemini 3.5 Pro, which was expected this quarter, appears to be delayed. The leaked numbers surfaced on Twitter and Reddit from accounts with credible track records on previous Google launches. Here's where it gets interesting. Let me show you the projected benchmarks. SW Bench Pro, Gemini 4 projected at 88.5%. That's a 24-point jump over 3.5 Pro. Humanities Last Exam, 68.4. The current best public score is 53. LiveBench, 91%. GPQA Diamond, 82.5. MLU Pro at 92.3. Math 500 at 95.6. If these numbers are real, and that's a big if, Gemini 4 would represent the single largest generation-over-generation improvement from any frontier lab. Take it with appropriate skepticism. This might be the most important story this week, and it's the one fewest people are talking about. Anthropic's interpretability team published a paper on what they're calling J-space, short for Jacobian space. Here's what they found. Inside Claude's neural network, a distinct computational region has spontaneously emerged that functions like an internal workspace. Think of it like a mental scratchpad that the model uses for silent reasoning, processing that happens between your prompt and the model's response that you never see. They discovered this using a technique called the Jacobian lens, which maps how information flows between different layers of the network. The remarkable part: this workspace wasn't designed. It wasn't trained into the model. It emerged spontaneously during pre-training. And Anthropic is now using JLens to audit what the model is actually thinking, not just what it says. If you can see the model's internal reasoning process, you can detect deceptive behavior, hidden goals, or misaligned objectives before they manifest in outputs. This is the kind of foundational research that doesn't make headlines, but could define how we build trustworthy AI for the next decade. Quick but significant. China has reportedly achieved mass production of 7nm chips using DUV lithography. That's deep ultraviolet, not EUV, which means they're doing this without access to ASML's most advanced equipment. Western sanctions were designed to keep China a generation behind. If this is confirmed, they've closed that gap roughly a decade ahead of schedule. The geopolitical implications are enormous. The video generation space is getting crowded fast. And finally, Alibaba dropped Qwen-Audio 3.0 Realtime. Open weights. Zero-shot voice cloning. Streaming speech intelligence that runs locally without cloud dependency. This is significant because it's fully open. Any developer can deploy this without API costs or usage restrictions. The real-time streaming capability puts it in direct competition with GPT-4o's audio mode, but without the paywall. That's your weekly AI briefing. Like, subscribe, and join Otherworld's AI. See you next week.